The Switch 2 already seems like it's going to be way bigger than we thought it would be. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and of course, this is the night or the day or the evening before Switch 2 pre-orders, depending on when you're watching this. And I already dropped a buyer's guide if you want to check that out a couple days ago, but pretty much I'll sum up some of those things and also talk about what's going on with Switch 2 pre-orders around the world right now, because it's already gone live for Japan, and yeah, it's already sold out. I mean, literally almost instantly sold out all over in Japan. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here, so real quick, before we get started, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo Switch 2. A lot of you watching are not yet subscribed. Let's see how many subscribers we can get from this one video if I helped you in any sort of way with the Switch 2. But let's dive into the madness. So before we dive into Japan, a French retailer actually talks about how crazy and how popular Nintendo Switch 2 has been since it's been available to pre-order. Apparently, hardware sales are apparently at historic levels, and sales have also been extremely good for the various accessories such as Nintendo Switch 2's Pro Controller and the Nintendo Switch 2 camera for game chat, which is actually pretty surprising to me that a lot of people are buying that one. And here's the highlights. So apparently, hardware sales are at a historic level. Stock situation is good, but could get tense in June. Higher average spent by user, closer to core gamers and Nintendo's more mainstream audience. Price won't be an issue for that demographic. Accessories at a very high level of sales, especially the camera, which once again is shocking. Mario Kart bundle extremely popular. Software sales lagging behind, but could ramp up closer to launch. 12 midnight launch event planned in Paris and in other cities. Now, of course, software sales are going to be low probably because it's just really Mario Kart, I believe, at launch, and you can just get the bundle. So a lot of people aren't going to buy any, real software. That's why I wish there was a couple other games that Nintendo released alongside this within this launch date. But it's fine. It's Mario Kart. Everyone's going to play Mario Kart regardless. So we actually get a message from Nintendo themselves, which is crazy. And it states, "Hello, this is Furukawa. We have been procuring many materials and proceeding with production in advance so that we can deliver the Nintendo Switch to you. On April 2nd, we announced details about the Nintendo Switch 2 and started accepting applications for the lottery sale on the My Nintendo store. As a result, we received an extremely large number of applications, approximately 2.2 million people in Japan alone. However, this number far exceeds our expectations and far exceeds the number of Nintendo Switch 2 consoles that can be delivered from the My Nintendo store on June 5th. Therefore, fortunately, we expect that a significant number of customers will not be selected when the winners are announced tomorrow, April 24th. In order to avoid the trouble of those who were not selected in the first lottery sale having to reapply, My Nintendo store will automatically carry over those who were not selected in the first lottery sale to the second lottery sale. However, even including the quantity of the second lottery sale, we cannot fulfill all of the applications we've received. We deeply apologize for not being able to meet your expectations despite our prior preparations. In response to this demand, we are currently working on further strengthening our production system. In addition, starting tomorrow, April 24th, game retailers and online stores nationwide will begin accepting pre-orders or lottery sales for the Nintendo Switch 2 console. Please check the information for each retailer for details. The console will also continue to be sold at the My Nintendo store after the release date. More details will be announced at a later date. With the corporation of retailers, we will continue to ship the console to make efforts to get as many Nintendo Switch 2 consoles as possible into your hands. We plan to continue producing and shipping a considerable number of Nintendo Switch 2 units in the future. We apologize for the delay in our ability to meet your expectations, and we appreciate your understanding." So, wow, this is crazy. Now, this is just the Nintendo lottery, so the Switch 2s that Nintendo can sell from themselves. This doesn't include all the retailers, the different stores and stuff around Japan. But that's still insane. Like, that's crazy even, that over 2.2 million people inquired to pre-order a Nintendo Switch 2. They're not meeting demands by a long shot, and they even prepared for this by having extra stock. So this is not looking good for around the world. So this helps to put things into perspective from Stealth on Twitter, who states, "The original Switch, now the best-selling system over in Japan, sold 330,000 during its first weekend. Now we are talking about over 2 million pre-order requests from only the Nintendo store. That isn't even counting other retailers. Absolutely insane. It gets even crazier because here in the States, it looks like it's about to get wild as well. Because Nintendo Prime states, dude, I've now had multiple people report to me that they are already in line at GameStop for Switch 2. It's 8:24 a.m. CT. The GameStop I'm going to opens at noon tomorrow. That's more than 24 hours, and they are telling me a line exists. It's not just them. Good luck, everyone. So it seems like for the in-store pre-orders for like GameStop and Best Buy, there are lines starting to form already over 24 hours in advance, which is just maddening. Now, I met a guy the other day talking about pretty much when I would go in the past, and I've done this with multiple console reveals and releases with pre-orders. I've always had the same formula. I'd go up around midnight and either sleep in the car and wait to see a line form, or just go back home and drive back again and check at a later time, but pretty much just starting at midnight because the doors normally open around 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. For these stores like GameStop. I normally do GameStop, and they work pretty well every single time. So yeah, I just go up there pretty early, but it looks like I might have to go up there even earlier just to make sure that a line isn't forming. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would definitely try to get up there around midnight just to see if there's a line forming. If not, probably a little bit later, around 3 or 4 in the morning. There's going to be lines though. It looks like the lines are already forming for certain territories and areas. So please, just make sure with your local GameStops, check in on them off and on if you're wanting to get that in-store pre-order, and make sure you have all your tabs ready to go when you're online tonight. And if you're wanting to get one of those online pre-orders, by just making sure your computers are ready, have multiple computers ready, have your laptop, multiple computers, your phone, just so that way you can be ready. Also remember to follow Jake Randall on Twitter. I believe he could even be live now. He said he's going to be going live, I think, for the first 24 hours, so maybe not yet. So definitely check out his channels on YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. He'll be covering us with updates whenever, you know, Switch 2 pre-orders links go live and stuff, and he'll have like certain notifications and bells and rings in his live streams to let you know. So this is just another way to make sure that you're updated on everything. One thing you guys got to remember is that this isn't just a new Switch launching, but it's also the same exact day the next Mario Kart launches, and it's been over 11 years since the last Mario Kart game. People are itching, I know I am, to get my hands on the next Mario Kart game. I cannot wait. So that's what people are probably really rushing in for as well, is to play Mario Kart World. So you have to remember that, and people are going to buy up these consoles. So one last time, let me go over what you need to do. Once again, be ready tonight. If you want to pre-order online, or just get one just in case, just so you can have pre-ordered online. You can always cancel your pre-order if you get another one in store, but pre-order online. Have multiple devices ready from the multiple various different stores. Target, Walmart, Best Buy, GameStop even is doing online pre-orders. So just check all of those, look up the times, get ready for those. And also be ready for the in-store. If you want to pick up yours, a lot of these in-stores are doing midnight release, like GameStop and Best Buy, I think, are all doing midnight releases when the Switch 2 actually launches. So you're going to want to get your pre-order ready to go for that. Remember, in-store pre-orders go live as soon as the doors open, which is normally around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. It depends on your store. Definitely check it out. That's my Eastern time. But definitely check your store. Double check, make sure, go up there multiple times tonight around midnight, go up there throughout the night hours, and just make sure there's not a line forming. And you're probably going to want to get ready to start packing. You're going to need some type of lawn chair, not lawn chair, but you know what I mean, one of those foldable chairs that you'd bring to sporting events, maybe a blanket if it's going to be cold. Watch the weather, make sure you're dressed, appropriate for what's, the weather going to be tonight. Bring some snacks, bring your Switch 1, bring a charger, bring your charge devices, so that way you have something to do as you wait in line. Just be prepared tonight, because you never know what's going to happen and how this is going to go. But thank you so much for tuning in. I am hoping that I'm able to help some of you guys at least to be ready for this Switch 2 pre-order madness, because it is going to be madness, it seems. With all the preparation Nintendo did, it still seems like they're going to be selling out pretty quickly. And also remember, tariffs are a thing. They go into effect, I believe, within the next 80 days. So it seems like Nintendo might want to send as many units as they can before those tariffs go into effect. But also remember as well, you're probably going to want to get this pre-ordered, because if those tariffs do go into effect and affect the console price, they might go up in price later on. I don't know. It's hard to say with what's going on with the tariffs and everything like that, but just be prepared. It's best to get your pre-orders now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. Good luck tonight, guys.